I think we'd lost what made us special. Originally, I think we'd lost track of kind of what we wanted to be and who we were. And over a coffee in about 90 seconds, Ian was able to draw a diagram that I've kept to this day, which was a significant observation that only somebody with his capability could see in 90 seconds. And then we began a journey. Ian initially worked directly with myself in terms of how I show up as a CEO, and then began to work with some of the managing directors of the companies in our group, TTM Healthcare and Resilience Care, and then working with the management teams in both, where we went on an amazing 18-month journey of searching for what we were as an organisation, what was our true vision, what do we stand for, and what are those kind of behaviours, and the impact of the work that Ian and the team from Essential Training have had on me personally and on my teams and our organisation is transformational. We're a different company today than we were 18 months ago. Ian introduced us to, what world class would look like, and you kind of challenged us on, were we an organisation that individually and collectively wanted to be world class. The practical delivery of services by Essential Training is where the organisation, in the form of workshops, first of all look at itself, at what makes it special, at what the employees think of the organisation, what they feel, what customers feel, what shareholders or stakeholders feel, and then knowing that and understanding that the organisation, the leaders, and then the team from Essential Training work on, right, what do we want to be and how do we show up, and that consists of further workshops. It consists of a lot of one-to-one. It consists of a lot of soul searching for people, either on a group basis or one-to-one basis. And I think the big thing that we've got out of the interaction with Ian and the team from Essential Training is high performance teams. That very open, honest conversations could be had with the team with Essential Training, but people knew they were in a safe space. They weren't worried about being called out publicly. They weren't worried about what they might say and how that might affect them in promotional prospects or interactions with other senior managers. And I think, if I was to say what a key differentiator of Essential Training versus other organisations of its ilk that I've worked with in the past, it's however they do it, and that's the beauty of a secret sauce. No one ever knows. There is an ability to get people to a safe space, and that has probably been one of the biggest success factors in our interactions as a company with you and the team at Essential Training.
And that's great to hear, because it's something that obviously I would pride what we do on, and each conversation is a conversation for the person in their own right, and that's where you get the honesty and you get the real authenticity. And as you said earlier, then that's how people select and deselect themselves.
Absolutely. And I think, Ian, from my experience of working with you directly and with my colleagues' experience working with you directly, you very rarely are going to give them answers. You very rarely have given me answers, but have brought me right to the answer. Probably from a personal perspective, and I would say, and I'm hoping from my colleagues' perspective, is I think it's brought out a significant degree of honesty in our people, where we can challenge each other now in a much different way than we would have been historically. People are comfortable challenging. I've had interactions almost daily now with people that I can see have changed because of their interactions with you and the team, because they're the questions they ask, their confidence in challenging a message or challenging a decision, they wouldn't have done historically. And I think it means we're making quicker decisions. It means we're working closer together in a more confident way as a group of people. And people don't feel vulnerable. People feel very confident in being able to challenge each other and challenge decisions, and it's just spectacular to be able to see that and see that live, you know.
It's on a personal level,
Mm.
personal.
Mm-hmm.
You and I know each other now for 18 months,
Mhm.
over 18 months. So I've seen you on a path
Mhm.
over that time. How would you describe that in terms of our relationship and
Sure.
interaction?
Sure. So I've said now twice openly. Um, two significant outputs from our interactions. I have changed fundamentally in my thinking as a professional. I have changed fundamentally in how I bring myself to what I do. Um, Energy was never something that I had a deficit of, but now my energy is very different. I've said to colleagues in the last couple of days that I find myself now as a startup back being 25 again, but with 17 years experience. Now, that's a fair skillion to get someone to get to a stage where they feel like they're back starting their business up all over again, and the excitement and the energy associated with that. Any entrepreneur will know what that feels like, but with 17 years experience and with all the potholes and all the mistakes that you make along the way now in your toolkit. So, if to answer your question, physically how I show up, mentally how I show up, um, is fundamentally different than it was 18 months ago. And I would say second chance is maybe a little bit too dramatic, but might be an interesting way to coin it. Is that I do feel I've had a second chance. We've scaled two very successful companies to where they are now, but where we're going to bring them now in the next stage, the next phase of this journey, is incredible, and is something I'm ferociously energized about. So yeah, different person completely, inside and out. I am happier than I was. I am thinking clearer than I was. I would say, to bring it at a very personal level, I would say probably a better dad. I'd say probably a better husband, a better son, and I certainly have a very different. I certainly how I bring myself to life is very different. And I suppose the exciting part about it, Ian, is that I think I'm only 20 to 30% on that journey. So could you imagine the effect 70% further? That's exciting.